call, and you just push in all these numbers, and then it will say what language do you want. You can ask for any language.
Are you kidding me?
And they will be like, okay, connecting, and then you tell them to dial the number. You probably want to try it with someone that's done it before the first time, because it can be kind of intimidating.
Well, and the other thing you have to be careful with is sometimes parents are offended
Right.
if you think that they don't understand you.
Right, so
So
first
you always
try
ask them.
in English. We tell everybody, first try in English, and if you get, no comprende, or whatever,
How about this
Then-
one?
yeah,
They
right.
allow that with
Through the whole
Chinese.
parent-teacher
Yeah.
conference.
Well, on the blue card, the pre-K files do have the blue card. On the blue card on the bottom, it does say, do you need an interpreter? And they can circle yes or no.
All the time.
Right,
Yeah.
but they do have the blue card in their
I think
language.
sometimes it's hard for them to read the English too.
Well, yeah.
This is so crazy because, we have picture day, and the father came to me and the two of us filled it out together because
Right,
he had no idea. He wanted to order a shirt. And he had no, he's like, so we sit there and we would do everything together because, he knew what he wanted.
right.
He was verbal in it, but he couldn't.
Well,
Well,
he was not very
Kinda.
verbal either.
With that,
We did very broken, I'm like, $10?
Yeah. Well, with that, you can actually put, if you have the person with you, they'll ask you on the language line, is the person
this
with
was-
you, or is it someone that we need to dial out to? And they can do the three-way call. You can just put it on the speakerphone for things like that.
Yeah.
So,
Because that's just, and then pajama day, I'd send a note home about pajama day, and he's like, what is this?
yeah, that's when the language line would be super helpful.
Pajamas.
I think the language line,
What you sleeping?
Sleep.
yeah, the language line, it's not known
So,
because
Yeah.
it's very expensive. So you need to try in English first, and then that would be your
Yeah,
like.
because I really feel
I don't
anxious
know if
about
it's available
ordering
because of the way the
pictures.
funding.
Yeah, we'll have to ask Dr. Ant,
Yeah.
but we've got to figure out something.
Yeah,
You have to be
yeah.
able to communicate, so.
Well, it shouldn't be.
Well, and it shouldn't be any different than getting an interpreter. I mean,
Well,
I
yeah,
was
but
like
that's changed recently too.
I know, but I
because-
was able to get one. I
Because
mean,
we're under the state grant, we're not, the district,
Right, so you'll
they
have to
pulled
look
all
into
that
the
back under the
options for that.
administration building.
right.
It used
I
to
mean,
come,
'cause I-
it used to
but I got
come
one.
from the Galactic ELL office, but now it's from over
The
there.
funding's all kind of
Messed up?
separate in some ways, and so like SSD, they have to get their own interpreters. So if you have an IEP meeting that needs an interpreter, the SSD people have to get it through their funds.
Or Hazelwood. It comes through.
I know,
the
so
district.
it's kind of confusing.
Yeah.
So you'll
Right.
have to ask your
Because ours
director,
comes into the district.
supervisors,
They call it the district.
but there is that resource if you want to look into it. And then the most important thing that I've learned, at least with these early childhood babies, is I would be like, I gotta teach them everything. Just pick one skill at a time and do it well, and it'll go faster than if you try to do everything. That was so frustrating to me because I just wanted to conquer it all right then. Like the first day, I just wanted everything to be fine. And I've learned that it's better to bite off a little bits at a time. So like setting the goal, documenting what you did to get to that goal, and as much documentation as possible, especially if you have concerns about the ELL student being an SSD referral. Because they won't even consider, the packet will just get thrown out unless there's a lot of evidence. And we're still looking at different ways to identify those students. That's kind of the up and coming thing right now. So, and then find something you're the expert at, because that empowers them and makes them feel good, just like you would any student. And then my email address is on here, but you'll be getting copies of all of this. So don't hesitate to email me. It's easier to email me than anything else because I have 4 schools, so you never know where I'm going to be. And I've talked to, I'm at Townsend, Jana, Coldwater, and Lawson. So most of the time I'm on this side of the district, but except for Townsend. So, and Dr. and Samantha and Curtis and Elaine, they're all very wanting to work together on all of this. So if you need me to come into your classroom and kind of give you suggestions or tips, not judge your teaching, but give you suggestions or help you out, I'm sure we can work something out with the schedule. Okay,
That's good.
we'll
So-
figure something out because they're really wanting to be a partnership. Now I'm promising you that, but I'm pretty sure that we can. I mean, it's not like there's a million of you. And tell your coworkers too that we want to bridge the gap. We want to be a team. We don't want to be early childhood, ELL. We know what it feels like to be the odd man out. So we would like to work more on working together. So I just picked up some music and movement. I mean, I'm sure you guys use it. If you don't, you have to use it. These are just some people that I like. Dr. Jean, Sherry Sloan, if you've never seen Sherry Sloan's stuff, it does cost, but it's excellent. The best CDs, they do like school routines. There's the whole like lineup, and it's an album song, and they just love it. So I used it a lot in kindergarten. And then Jack Hartman is really good with math. So those are just freebies. And then interactive videos. I did a little bit of research on some good videos, and I don't know if you guys know this, and I'm telling you this because will it not filter through here?
Sometimes it depends.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is.
We get some, okay.
Sometimes you get it, sometimes you
Yeah,
don't.
sometimes we get stupid.
Okay, it's not letting me. There's some really good
I'm gonna be incredible.
okay, it's not gonna let me do it.
I wish I had the thing at the bottom, if you don't want them, you want to delete.
Okay, it's not letting me. I think it depends on the school you're in, so.
Right.
I don't know if you guys know this, I just found this out the other day, but on YouTube, you can search, you could just download it to your laptop and then bring it, but you can search, the Just Dance, like for Wii, and the people act like, it's like you're watching the Wii, and the kids can do it with them. Of course, it's not like registering points, but it's an excellent brain break activity, and just to get them up and moving. And then I looked, and they do have some early childhood ones that aren't Just Dance ones, but they're the same thing. And then they can do it with the video, and so then if you need to like set something out or whatever, then they're doing that. So. What?
Right,
We've not been outside in a very long time.
Oh.
right.
Right,
So,
anything like that. Anytime you need to burn some energy, I just think it's fabulous. The kindergartners and first graders love it.
And you're gonna give us this information?
Yeah,
Or
it
do I
will
need
be.
to write it
No,
down?
don't
Yes.
write it down.
Okay.
She'll email the PowerPoint to you. And then, how many of you have Promethean boards? Okay, please use them. It's important just for the kids to be up to date with the technology. A lot of the classrooms are getting them, so. And they're so interactive. And if you don't know how to use it, go to one of those Promethean trainings because, oh my gosh, the best, even though they're on the weekend, I know, it's worth it. I went to them, I didn't even have a board. There are people in this district that would kill to get a board. So, I mean, if you're a skeptic, I can sell you on it. But they have a lot of shape sorts, and if you just search colors, shapes, they'll pop up on Promethean Planet, a million resources for that. It actually is a good center too. I don't know if you've done that before, but you can shove this thing down. I didn't know this at first, but you can push this down to the ground, like almost to the ground, and then they can come up and do it.
Yeah, no, mine's always down.
Yeah, but be careful when you're dancing,
Right.
because you'll hit your head on the.
I almost got my head.
Several times.
Okay,
I'm
and
slow
then,
learner.
That's how you do that.
experiences.
I've heard you guys do a lot of picture labels, and especially a picture schedule is helpful with them because it's kind of nice for them to know what's coming next. You can't go wrong with pictures. And then having picture action vocabulary cards as conversation starters, and be like, oh, well, here you guys are at this little table. Here's a card. Let's all everybody talk about it. And they can either pass the card and everybody talk if you have one person that will talk and one person won't. However you want to do it, but you can Google clip art and you'll have a million conversation starters, but you need to model it first because they won't know what to do with it when you put it on the tape. And then emotions, like if you have one of those big posters with like happy, sad, and whatever, so then if they are upset, then they can really identify with the picture that they're upset about. Even if they can't tell you, there's something about identifying that emotion that makes them feel better. So to point to it. And then just offering choices, especially if it's a newcomer, like if you had a picture of the restroom, then you could just go over and point to it. And then, but make sure that when you're pointing to the pictures, you're also saying the language. Because it's easy to point to pictures and not remember to say the language, but they have to hear it over and over and over again. It takes 3 to 5 years to acquire a language. So if we catch them young, by the time they get into 2nd or 3rd grade, we can get them right before the math test to hopefully test out. That's in an ideal world. Here, I just found a clip art resources. I don't think you can ever have too many clip art sites, so I just thought that would be helpful. So, that will be in the thing that Samantha gives you. And then environmental print. A lot of them are not familiar with the environmental print in the United States, so it's good to have the extra environmental print. And if you've seen the cereal box book, I think that's a fabulous idea. And just having labels of things, foods and stuff that they aren't familiar with.
Yeah, I drive my husband nuts. He says, you can get the big box. I said, no, it's gotta be this size so it fits in my book.
Right. So that all the pages of the
That one's
book.
on sale! No, it's got.
And that's what he says. He goes, well, this is better. I don't care. He goes, what are you buying Cocoa Puffs for? Because I need it. And
My
I give it to my
links aren't
kids to
working
eat.
very well, but
But it's gotta be that little,
Except they don't
Right
McDonald's. That takes about 2 seconds to learn.
yeah.
okay, it's not letting me go to anything. But this website has environmental print and activities to do with the environmental print. So, some of it's a little higher kindergarten, but you can kind of weed out and adjust it. And then with centers, we're just making sure you have a lot of textile activities and real things. And then just some directed activities, so then they're used to following multi-step directions, not just a free choice. They need that too, but they also need to be able to follow this step-by-step directions. And then as many experiences with oral language, we talked about the talking cards and action cards. And then anytime you're reading a book, making sure you're pointing out the pictures, and then puppets go a long way. If you're not a puppet person, I'm sorry, but I've gotten kids to listen to puppets when they wouldn't listen to anything else. So having the puppet model the activity, that engages just about any culture. I will say though, there are some cultures that might be a little bit intimidated by the puppet thing because in some cultures, you don't make inanimate objects animate. So just be aware if they look a little scared at first. That might be why. I didn't realize that until I went to Africa to visit my sister. And she's like, sometimes cultures think that puppets are possessed by evil spirits. And I was like, what? So, and then voice recording, there's all different websites where you can have them record their voices and play it back to them. They don't even hear what they sound like usually, so it's good for them to hear what their oral language sounds like, because it gives you something to talk to them about, and they'll start to hear what they say differently than the other students. So even if it's just, okay, let's record your voice while you're looking at this picture. Tell me as much as you can about this picture. And then like in a few weeks, try it again. Show them their growth. Then they'll feel like, because they don't realize that they're making gains, and they're probably feeling overwhelmed. So if they can see where they came from to where they're at, and then at the end show them where they ended up, then that will boost a lot of confidence. Questions?
I had a puppet work really well one time with a girl who wouldn't talk while I was testing her. And there was puppets on the shelf, she wouldn't get one.
Yeah.
There was an interpreter there, so we both got one.
Puppets are very universal, and I've always thought that until my sister told me that. That's that's generally not
I
the
would think
case.
that every
See,
time I say
that's the
something
thing
else.
with different cultures.
Right.
Knowing the culture is really important.
And I found that
Oh.
if I get to know, like, some families are more open to talking about their culture than others. If you can find that family and pick their brains as much as possible, it's